Hello everyone, DSP here, and welcome to the weekend preview. It is, I have to go look at my calendar. It is Sunday, March 20th, 2016, and we're just coming off of Combat Week. So if you haven't been in the know, if you've been away for the week, if you purposely avoided the week, this past week was all combat, one-on-one, mano-a-mano kind of fighting style combat. It started off with Street Fighter V. It then turned into UFC 2, and then the week finished off strong with Pokken Tournament, which I was very, very pleased with and really enjoyed. So, that was a lot of fighting. The thing is, I definitely realize that there's a large part of my viewing audience that isn't into fighting games, okay? And that's okay. But it just so happened that all the releases this past week ended up being fighting games. And really the only other thing that I had to do was some vlogging. And I also went ahead and played one session of Zelda, completing a dungeon and getting to the next one in the game. So I'm actually, from what I'm being told, near the end of Zelda Twilight Princess. I believe there's only like 2 major dungeons left in the game. But I can understand if there were a lot of people who maybe felt overloaded by fighting game videos this past week. And that's okay. You know, this happened back in February with Street Fighter V, and it happened now. But the bottom line is there are no other major fighting games to be released for the rest of the year, unless something changes and we get like a release date for Tekken or something like that. So this is pretty much the extent of the massive amount of fighting game influx you're going to get. Okay, and this week in particular, coming up, things are getting back to normal. We've got a super duper major DLC for Fallout 4 that everyone's been waiting for. I loved Fallout 4, as you know, it was my game of the year for 2015. Cannot wait to play this first of many DLCs. You've also got the PlayStation's Choice playthrough that's going to begin this week that I'm going to talk about in a little bit here. Okay, so we're going to have variety. We're going to have more Zelda. We're going to have Fallout 4 DLC. You're going to have the Patron's Choice winning game, plus some more Pokken Tournament as well, mixed in there with maybe a review or two. There's a lot going on this week, okay? I'll get to that in a moment. But before we do, just a quick recap. Outside of the fighting game gameplay that I did this week, there was also some vlogging that I did. I actually did a reactions video to the WWE Roadblock event that was live streamed last weekend. I put that out last Sunday night, so a week ago tonight, basically. So I hope you'll check that out if you're a fan of pro wrestling. In addition, there was a big announcement this past week at the Game Developers Conference regarding the PlayStation VR. Pricing, all kinds of info about specs and stuff. And I did a video about that, detailing it, right here on the King of Hate Vlogs. So if you didn't see that video yet, and I basically explained whether or not I think it can be a competitor in the VR market, and whether or not I'm interested in it, check out that video, okay? So that was the vlogging I did this week. Plus, there was a new DSP Tries It yesterday, Saturday. It was a big one. It had some editing to it, had some funny stuff in it. It was Batman vs. Superman Serial. You're going to want to check this out because it's freaking good. Everyone who's watched it absolutely loved it, so I hope that you'll check it out if you haven't seen it. Again, right here on the King of Hate Vlogs, you can watch that. It is live, all right? Now, on KO Gaming, admittedly, it's been a little slow. And the reason being is because, again, I need to finish up with stuff before I can actually take that footage and edit it into anything for KO Gaming. There was only one video released for KO Gaming this past week. It was on Monday this past week. It was basically a 1-month retrospective regarding Street Fighter V. My thoughts about the game after it being out for a full month. Now that I got more into the competitive side of it, we now have seen after a month what the game exactly is like, who the top tier characters and the low tier characters are. And I shared all of that over on my YouTube channel, KO Gaming, which you can find at youtube.com/KO Gaming 1. So if you haven't seen that video yet and you were a fan of my Street Fighter stuff, but you didn't know that I had put out that video, go check that out as well. But outside of that, there was nothing else to put up on KO Gaming this week because I was too busy and inundated with all these new games, all right? But there's good news for this coming week. There's going to be 2 new videos on KO Gaming this coming week. I'll talk about that in just a moment, all right? So tonight is a pretty good night for me. I had a fun day today playing Pokken Tournament all day long, okay? And I actually played against a friend of mine, Venomous Fat Man, who is in the gaming media, and he actually got an advanced copy of the game. He played it for about a week and a half, I guess, before the game even came out, because he needed to do his advanced review. And I played him today, and my god, he knew tons of stuff about all the characters. He was whooping my ass, because all the stuff he was doing I'd never even seen before. And I'm like, holy crap, you know, this guy's on another level, because he's been playing the game another extra week and a half than me. But it was great. I saw a ton of stuff. I learned a ton of stuff. And I also advanced the story. I played with a new character, Septile, today. So Pokken tournament coverage will continue all this week. All right, I just want to make that clear. There'll be new characters, the story will continue, etc. on DSP Gaming. You're going to see those videos over the course of the week, all right? In fact, as of right now, as I'm recording the week in preview, there's story mode videos uploading to DSP Gaming for the game right now. Tonight, I'm doing the week in preview, and I'm going to begin work on a montage for tomorrow, but I'm going to talk about that in a moment since it comes out tomorrow, okay? And that's going to be it for tonight. Tomorrow, Monday, the 21st of March, Zelda returns on a live stream. It will be a full live stream of Twilight Princess HD. I'm in the middle of the Sky Dungeon, and from what I'm to understand, this is the final Mirror Shard, and there's either 1 or 2 dungeons left in the game. I'm not clear on that, but apparently I'm getting very close to the end of the game, being that I've gotten all the items. I just need the one more improved claw shot, and I'm pretty sure that I've pretty much completed the game at this point, besides whatever the final dungeon is. So, looks like the home stretch for that game, and it probably will conclude, if not this week, next week at the latest, but we'll see, okay? So, one major stream of Zelda tomorrow. That's going to be my live stream. No live stream later on in the day, because I'm going to be working on and finishing, which is what I said I'm going to work on tonight, a montage of the biggest knockouts and finishes from UFC 2. That's, you know, this last week I played UFC 2 a good 4 or 5 streams, and there were some really epic fights that just ended in just grueling, like, nasty-looking KOs and stuff. So I'm going to be doing a montage of the best ones. It's not going to be long. I mean, at the most, if you're doing montages of knockouts and submissions, it'll probably be, what, 5 minutes long, 10 minutes tops, you know what I mean? But I think it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun thing. This is the kind of thing that I want to do. Game-specific montages. For a game like UFC, it makes sense to show you the best knockouts, and that's a cool, quick video that's entertaining. Versus Hits of the Week that I was doing, which I talked about last week, why I discontinued that for now. It's just like trying to pick and choose stuff from every playthrough I do, and it takes so long, and sometimes it doesn't even coherently kind of go together. So that's why I don't really like doing those too much, but I will do game-specific montages. And there's a bunch of games coming up, in particular, the Fallout 4 DLC, if there's great moments there, possibly Quantum Break coming up, right? You've got Dark Souls 3, I think that's a shoo-in, that the best deaths or the most rage-filled moments of those playthroughs, I could do montage videos of that kind of stuff. So that stuff will be coming, okay? So, Monday, Twilight Princess on stream, and a UFC 2 knockouts montage on KO Gaming. Tuesday, the Fallout 4 DLC Automatron releases. Now, from what I'm to understand, in this DLC, the way it works is you are still kind of open world roaming in the Boston area. But apparently there are now these rogue robots called Automatrons that are all around, and you need to fight them and kill them in like these epic style battles. I guess they have a lot of health or whatever. Once you kill them, they drop parts, and you can use these parts to build your own Automatron robot that becomes kind of a companion. And so it's kind of like almost having another follower in the game that comes along with you. Now, I'm not clear on if it's just open world roaming and killing robots or if there's a story to it. It's not very clear, okay? So I'm thinking, man, I'd love to do it. I'm definitely doing it, but I don't know how much time it's going to take, because if it's just, oh, as you play the game, you randomly run into robots, we're going to do, what, a couple hours, and then it's probably the gimmick's going to die out, you know what I mean? So we'll see. If there is a story to it, great, but if not, if it's just random robots you run into and building your own robot, it might not be so great. We'll do it for one stream, and that'll be it, all right? But it depends. If it is a good DLC and there's a lot to it, then I'm going to play it all day. I'll play it all day Tuesday. But if it's kind of just more limited than that, then I'll probably just do it for that one stream and do something else Tuesday night. Ideas that I have in my head, probably more Pokken Tournament. I'll probably continue on maybe with the story of Pokken Tournament in an offline setting. I won't stream it, okay? Wednesday, excuse me, Pokken Tournament will return to stream for sure, okay? And it's probably going to be online gameplay for the stream, because now I started playing with Sceptile. So what I'd like to do is do some matches with Sceptile, and then maybe mix it up and go to Gengar and back to Machamp, and try out some different things, especially, like I said, after I played with Venomous Fatman today, I learned some things that I think I may be able to use in online gameplay. In particular with Machamp, he showed me a few things, and he used Sceptile against me too and showed me the stuff that's really good with him. So it could be interesting to try out more online play, and that'll probably be the stream on Wednesday. Wednesday night, either more Zelda or more Pokken Tournament. If it is, it'll probably be the story mode of Pokken Tournament, because I'm trying to beat the story mode, because it unlocks stuff. It actually unlocks different things, does assists and 2 characters when you beat the game and stuff like that. So even though it's not exactly the most interesting thing ever, I'd be honest, I don't think the story mode's very good. At least it's unlocking stuff, okay? Thursday. This will be the final major day of streaming before the patron stuff starts, which we'll talk about in a second. So Thursday, we'll see how I've done during the week, right? How long did it take for Fallout? How far along am I in Zelda? How much did I do in Pokken Tournament? And we'll play it by ear. It could be Zelda on the stream, maybe one major stream of Zelda. Maybe I'll be able to beat it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it by ear, and we'll see exactly how it goes on Thursday. But there will be at least 1, if not 2 sessions of gameplay on Thursday as well, okay? Now, Friday, here's when the big stuff starts, and I think people are going to get very excited. The Patron's Choice playthrough. This has been in development since January, because in January, I set a goal on my Patreon. We hit the goal, but then in the month of February, the patrons nominated and then voted on a game. The game that ultimately won the poll, Persona 3. Yeah, Persona 3 we're going to be playing starting this week. And the first stream of that is going to be on Friday. Okay, now here's the thing, before we even talk about the rest of the schedule. I need your input. I need to know what the best version of Persona 3 is. Okay, because when I played Persona 4, people were like, you got to play the 1, Golden, but it's only on the PSP, but you don't have a way to hook the PSP up. Now you have to get extra hardware, like a PlayStation TV or whatever, and I didn't want to deal with all that. I said, I'm just going to get the plain vanilla version that you could download, the emulated PS2 version on PS3, and I loved it, but so many people bothered me and said, you did the wrong thing, you didn't get the right version, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I liked it, okay? I'm hearing now that there's different versions of Persona 3, and I'm like, The bottom line is, the only version of Persona 3 that I can play at this time is the one that I can play on PlayStation 3. But I don't know what version that is. So please, if you're watching this video, you're looking forward to Persona 3, message me. Email me at darksidephil@hotmail.com. Tweet me at theycallmeDSP. Let me know what is the definitive version of this game that I should be playing, and please tell me it's available on PlayStation 3, okay? And that's the one that I'm going to play. It's going to start this this Friday. My gameplay stream on Friday will be the debut of Persona 3, about 3.5 hours of gameplay as usual, okay? Friday night, I'm going to review Pokken Tournament. At that point, I will have at least played with 3 characters, if not more. I'll hopefully have mostly completed, if not completed, the story mode. I've now done an online friend match with a friend, with Venomous Fatman. So I've pretty much seen everything there is to see. I've done the dojos, the training, everything. I can fully review the game as of this Friday. So this Friday, my Pokken Tournament review will be completed and going live on KO Gaming. So that's what I said earlier. There's 2 videos for KO Gaming this week. There's going to be the Knockouts montage for UFC 2 and the Pokken Tournament review, both going live on KO Gaming this week. All right. Saturday, the stream will be Persona 3 again. So another 3.5 or so hours of Persona 3. As you know, Saturday's my short day because I don't have time to do anything for second session because Leanna and I go out. But incidentally, this weekend, we're going to see Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice on Saturday. So, the thing is, we're not going to get home till late. Like, when we go out, we don't get home till like 9, 10 p.m. our time, and then we have stuff to do around the house or whatever. It's too late to do a video then. But I will be doing my initial impressions, my reactions video to Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice on Sunday after I see the movie on Saturday, okay? So I know it's a big thing. A lot of people are hyped for the movie. That's my reactions video will be coming on Sunday. Fair enough? All right. And that's going to obviously be right here on the King of Hate Vlogs. That Sunday, speaking of, I'm probably after 2 days of Persona 3, probably going to be a little burnt out on it, and I might want to do something else, or maybe not. Maybe I'll feel like playing more. But I like the flexibility. I'll have the flexibility to say, oh, I want to do more Persona 3, or, oh, I want to maybe do more Zelda and finish it if I haven't yet. Oh, I feel like more Pokken Tournament. You see what I mean? I like this flexibility of it. And that's how I want to kind of handle it. That Sunday will be up in the air, depending on, what goes on. And I'll have my Batman vs. Superman reactions video. And then the week after that, the final week of March, okay? We're going to have more special stuff going on. There's going to be The Walking Dead Michonne Episode 2 is supposed to release that week. In addition, we're going to have a marathon, and it looks like right now, unless somehow the polling completely flips on its head, which I'm not expecting, we're going to have a marathon event as a result of a patron goal that we hit in the month of February for fundraising. And that event is going to be a platforming marathon, and it looks like Conker's Bad Fur Day HD will win the poll, which means I'll be continuing and completing that game, which I started in December. Okay, so that's great. I'm excited. I liked Conker, and I'm excited to play more of it. I'm surprised that the game is so freaking long, but I'm going to try my best to beat it in a marathon setting at the end of the month, okay? And a lot of people have been asking me, will I be doing anything for April Fools this year? I don't know. And the reason I say that, it all depends on what's going on with these ongoing playthroughs and such, because I know people want to see me play more Persona 3 and do a lot of it before we get caught up in these major playthroughs coming out in April. We've got, just on my calendar, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 to 5 major releases in April, one of which, Dark Souls 3, is going to be very long form. You know how long it's going to take me to get through that game, right? That game's going to be 20, 30 hours long, so it's probably going to take me all week to beat, if not longer than that. So I definitely see myself being totally busy in the month of April and probably not able to play Persona 3. So I do want to be able to play it a lot, especially for those who voted for it. And people loved my Persona 4 playthrough last year. Some people have it still to this day. They're saying, Phil, it's one of the best playthroughs you've ever done. We can't wait for you to do another Persona game. So I'm kind of getting more hyped and excited for Persona 3 now. So we'll see, but I don't know. I'm thinking in my head, what can I do for April Fools? You know, it's not like it used to be. Seriously, it's not. It used to be like I had all this stuff to draw upon. You know, I had my old classic games collection over here, and I could do a joke, and I could do all this. At this point now, I've been doing YouTube for freaking 8 years. And it's like, you know, I kind of did the funny stuff already over here that you wouldn't expect. And I'm trying to think, like, what could I realistically do for April Fool? I don't know. I'm still thinking. I may or may not do one. If you remember last year, I was playing Bloodborne. And all I did was I put on a Sonic hat. So maybe I'll do something silly like that and integrate something silly into my gameplay. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll look at it, and we'll see if I do something or not for it this year. You know, it is what it is. So, outside of all of that, the only final thing I have to talk to everyone about is that I have now updated my Patreon. You can check it out right here. There you go. Right there. Finally got my finger in the right position for the camera. Right there. The goal for March has been set. The goal for March is a Blizzard Marathon. Blizzard Entertainment, that is, not snow. I don't want to get snowed in here in Washington State, although it probably wouldn't be possible because the climate's so moderate. We haven't had any snow. But, yeah, a Blizzard Marathon. If we hit the funding goal for this month, which at this point, you know, it's the 20th, so there's, 10, 11 days left to pledge to my Patreon. People who pledge $5 or more are going to be voting on if they want to see me do a marathon of Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, or World of Warcraft at the end of April. And I'm intrigued to do... I've played Hearthstone, and I love it. I would love to do a marathon of it. Lots of arena gameplay and stuff like that. That would be awesome. Never played Heroes of the Storm. I used to play Warcraft 3, and I did play that Dota mod for it once or twice. I thought it was okay, but I didn't really go too crazy like a lot of people did. So it could be interesting to see me play my first MOBA. Or World of Warcraft. This is a game. I've never done an MMO at all, really, on YouTube at all, okay? I used to play World of Warcraft. I know what the game is. I played it multiple times at launch. Then I played it like a couple years later, and then I played it even further. But the last time I played it was like a decade ago. So I'm sure in the past 10 years, shit has changed. But at the same time, at the core, it's probably the same game. So I'd be excited to do it. Maybe a marathon. Imagine that 6-7 hours of me creating a new character, going in, doing all the intro stuff, quests and stuff. And I'm sure people would fucking join to try to troll me and shit live on stream, right? So that could be a fun stream, an interesting stream. So, yeah, whatever wins the poll, it's in the hands of the patrons who pledge $5 or more this month. Okay, so that's a cool goal. That's something, again, totally different outside of my comfort zone. I'm actually patting myself on the back a little bit because it's something different. Again, I keep coming up with these new goals that are completely different things. I do want to say special thanks to a fan who tweeted me the idea. He says, what about like a marathon of Blizzard games? And that's how I came up with the idea. Oh, here's 3 things that would be interesting. So thank you to that fan. But, hey, this is awesome. I've done Patreon for a year now. Every single month we've hit the goal. Every single month we've had an amazing kind of reward event. And I'm very happy to be doing Persona 3 this week, to be doing the marathon next week. Hopefully we can do this marathon. Again, I just want to let you know, we have not yet hit the goal for Patreon for this month, but we've got a lot of time. But at the same time, 11 days isn't that much, especially with the stuff we're going to get caught up with. And in addition to that, a lot of people are probably going to lower their pledges from last month, like they always do, because they had big pledges last month. They'll probably lower them. So we need people to step up and pledge to make up for that so we can hit the goal. All right. So that's really it. Nothing else really to talk about. It's a crazy week of wide variety of gameplay coming. Sorry to those of you who are kind of burnt out from all the combat this past week. There will still be some Pokken, but for the most part, there's going to be a wide variety of stuff that hopefully you will enjoy. You're going to have new videos on KO Gaming. You're going to have vlogging with the Batman vs. Superman reactions. You're going to have tons of new gameplay, game reviews, everything. This week's going to be crazy fun, and I can't wait to share it with you. Okay? Thank you, everyone, for watching the Weekend Preview. One final note. Please, if you notice people who are asking around, gee, what's Phil playing or whatever, tell them to watch the Weekend Preview. The reason I say it, this past week, okay, no one watched the Weekend Preview last week. If you look, like, not even 3,000 views, which is abysmal. Like, I almost usually always get between 3,000 to 5,000 views. And then people ask me all week what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, like, I explained. That's why I make this video. I wish people would listen and watch instead of ask. Please let people know. The Weekend Preview is the go-to place to find out my plans for the week. And daily, you can check my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP, where I update it nightly with a new schedule. So, watch the video at the beginning of the week for updates. Check out Twitter daily, you know. And I hope that people start to watch more because, I'll be honest, I was like, what the hell? You know, so many few people watching the Weekend Preview. But then it was funny because then people watched the videos this week. You know, it's like people came out and watched the fighting game footage, so it's like it's not like they didn't want to watch, just that for whatever reason they didn't want to watch the Weekend Preview. Let people, newbies, newcomers to my stuff, know that this is the place to get the schedule. All right. Thanks, everyone. Without further ado, thank you to the following February patrons who made the upcoming platforming marathon possible. Peace out, everyone. I'll see you for new gameplay all week long.